and he is going to read us from his new book. Whenever you...
Right now.
Right.
Or as soon as you want to. Right now. Right now. That might be the name of the book. We don't know.
Right? I'm going to turn
Right
this
now.
down. We're going to leave this mic up, right? Or
I think I'll mute the...
figure it out?
No, we need it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. It's so good to see you again. I haven't seen this man in 20 years at least.
Yay.
Thanks, Bob.
Larry, we do appreciate
Thank you,
it.
thank you. This lady was a student of mine one time. She compiled the most incredible book of poetry. It was leather bound. It had all kinds of leather adornments and stuff in it. Every page was a different color. And her volume of poetry is now in the Beinecke Library of Yale University, because they took my archives, my collection of stuff. So if you go there, you can look it up. You can look it up there. And thank you.
I made 2 copies. There's only 2 copies in the world.
You still have it? Oh, it's beautiful. Just beautiful.
Leather bound with some poetry books.
Well, this is my new book, Clouds. Now, I'm selling it for $10. And I wanted to read an old, this is an old poem about Facebook. But Facebook is now old. And it's called Friends. I found your soul on Facebook. I was surprised, but there it was. All wrapped up in care, with a photo of Bobo, your little dog, and Winsome, your cat. Purry and furry in your video of both. How sweet. I found your soul on Facebook, including a picture of the latest enchilada you ate. There were your parents, smiling and old, all bundled up outdoors. I found your soul on Facebook, and so were friends. And I see all your friends anytime I wish. And their cats and dogs and food and parents and kids, babies. Yes, everyone has babies. They're part of your soul. Oh, you're sick today, and your friends wish you well. I guess I should hope you get well soon. I write, and notice you were in my town yesterday, in the very Hacienda Cafe I was in. Was that you I saw? I was there and thought you looked familiar. Is that her I'm friends with on Facebook? I was too embarrassed to ask. That was you. I certainly didn't want to say hello because I wasn't sure. So I came home and turned you on. How's Bobo? How's Winsome? Did you get sick from that enchilada? I found your soul on Facebook. That's all I need. So I wanted to introduce you all to this remarkable concept. It's called book. Okay, and I'm going to give a course in it if you want to. Here it is, the whole syllabus and everything. I am offering a course in the book. What is a book? Something about its history, when it started, when it lived, its death. What is the difference between a book and a Facebook? How much does it weigh, or can it weigh? Does it have a top and a bottom and sides? Can it be opened, or should it remain shut? And which side of the book should be approached first? What can be in a book? What cannot be in a book? How long can a book last? Can the book harm you? Cautions to take when approaching a book for the first time. What are pages? And what importance do they have in a book? The process of turning a page in a book, step by step. What's on a page of a book, or can be on it? How to process the printed words in a book and relate it to your phone viewing experience. The value, if any, of a book. Can a book crash and disappear? Is there ever a need to reboot a book? What to do if you encounter something troubling in a book? What to do if the book expresses contrary thinking to your position on anything? Book therapy. How to close a book and put it down. The problem of what to do with a book once you finish the exhausting process of reading it. How to deal with the obnoxious persistence of the presence of a book. What a bookshelf is, and the proper way to place a book in a bookshelf. Whether you should have a bookshelf if you have only one book. Does having a bookshelf in your home bring down the value of your house? How to conceal a book in your house. How to get rid of a book. How to cope with dreams of books. Note, the next course will cover the essentials in coming up with content that can simulate what's in a book. I sat on a porpoise at noon. He said, "What a lovely lagoon." We played around most of the day, and I traded him in for a loon. This is called natives. There are seeds of diversity under every step you take. I was thinking about this because I was involved, I'm involved with the native plant, the New Mexico Native Plant Society, and my wife is, and we go around discovering native plants and or finding them and identifying them, things like that. And we have a little native plant garden. I was amazed at how many seeds some plants produce. And I think that's what this is about. There are seeds of diversity under every step you take, under concrete, under a lake where ducks paddle and glide, under buildings, under where you stand, from seeds over millions of years, layers in earth changes, and viable in earth crust, and drop to germinate, grow, and flower. For bees and birds, a living diversity right where we live, from fortunate water and sunlight, water and sunlight. Look down, admire, foster, protect, don't step on, don't pick, let grow, learn from diversity of native plants. This is, a lot of rules get passed. Did you know that the Supreme Court prohibits sperm freedom? Supreme Court overcomes freedom of ejaculation before marriage for men. Men cannot now ejaculate till marriage, and then only within a woman for sacred procreation. The states must set up sperm banks in every city to contain accidentally or illegally ejaculated sperm. The individual fine and imprisonment for men who break the law by ejaculating sperm before legal marriage will be determined by each state. Male sperm is the issue of God, and since it is half the life of a baby, it is sacred life and the property of the government until the holy gates of marriage are opened. It is sacred as is the female egg, and must not be killed, but given continued life. Sperm police will work with state police to arrest non-married ejaculators and gather their sperm for the banks. Signed, Justice Neil Gorsuch, Justice Brett Kavanaugh, Justice Amy Conehead, Justice Samuel Indarko, and Justice Pubic Hair Thompson. Reporter Lorenzo Garbanzo, Placitas, New Mexico. Okay. Now, all these things are occurring, and it's hard to keep up with all this stuff in the news. But this one particular state, and it's spreading around the country, has decided that embryos are children. So this is a poem called March of the Embryos. By the way, I wanted to tell you that I am just past my 30th year of sobriety. If I can do it, anybody can do it. All right, here we go. Now that Alabama has officially christened embryos as children, they are waking up to this new status and thawing themselves out and escaping the labs and even becoming unruly children. This has been happening in cryogenic labs across the country. Some embryos who escaped are ganging together and acting like kids in Lord of the Fly, taking over houses and causing havoc in neighborhoods. The embryos are small, but when they band together, they can do all kinds of things, like taking over trucks and sports cars and driving like maniacs on the highway and across people's lawns, and even causing adults to flee their houses. Some embryos have taken over police departments, managing to acquire little tiny police outfits. Others have invaded fundamentalist Christian churches, demanding reparations and support. You created our status, so you've got to support us. Here we are. Give us money and shelter so we can grow and become idiots like you. The embryos are everywhere. They've escaped by the millions, and we adults can't do anything about it because we all have equal status now. They've even gotten on school boards and running for office and threatening to vote for the stupidest embryo of all. Okay. Here's some advice for those of you who write poetry, and I recommend it. Dice your poetry, and this is a mixture of how to, put words together, etc., like cooking. It's kind of like cooking, right? Here we go. Dice hard your poetry and add it to your dish. Some will find it too sweet, but most will avoid it. If you slice it, that will be nice. Thin slices are best for your perfect guest. But remember, you might just end up eating it yourself. Sear your poetry in a medium-hot pan. Add all the spices you want, plus vegetables. Sounds like a hearty dish. Too bad you forgot to invite someone over. But don't despair. Someday, somewhere, someone in the thin air, following your recipe, will half-heartedly prepare your dish and be surprised how much they enjoyed your diced, sliced, seared poetry fare. Oh, dear. This has to do with, I don't know. I was brought up in letter writing world, and I really became aware of this when this dear friend of mine, Anne Quinn, who was a British novelist, I met her. She was over here, became very good friends. She was kind of like an avant-garde novelist. And then when she left, we wrote letters back and forth. So recently, I had the pleasure of putting together our letters from her and mine to her. And it was a real pleasure. She had a very difficult life. At age 37, she walked into the ocean and died. But she was a very troubled writer and wrote some incredible books. One's called Berg, one's called Three. But then I got to thinking, once I put this together, I can't put any letters together anymore. People don't write letters. And then I began to think that maybe that has something to do with people communicating with each other one by one. All right. End of discussion. People don't want to come over and talk or rouse themselves in a good discussion. They're afraid they might advertise themselves the wrong way or present a distortion of who they are. Besides, it seems wrong to bust over into your home, invading privacy, even when invited, smelling some odd odors, or seeing a different arrangement of things. Now it's okay to wail and rail at length, or epitomize the usual spurts of thinking in a post which will elicit the familiar likes, hearts, or careful stereotypical comments. People don't want to experience the exhaustion of having to think while actively taking into account the actual presence of someone a yard or two away. The hideaway post in bed under covers is much more convenient. It's safer to go on that tale and wail of daily, nightly, all-time routine and keep quiet about a lot of things, especially career, standing, money, food, purchases, and certainly the horror of someone with a different opinion. People don't want to come over and talk, or certainly not bother to call when you can sneak off a message, certainly not leave an antiquated voice message. Face-to-face oblivion is much better, as I opt back to familiarity, comfort, the mundane of self-obsession. Oh, yeah. He did? He died? I was just going to pick up the phone the other day. He didn't? He what? He did? He died of apprehension someone might see him alive? We need to get back to one-on-one friendship. Oh, boy. Too many guns. All of us had too many guns. Guns in the belfry, guns in the bath, Guns in the bedroom to kick your ass. Guns in the vest, guns in your boots, guns in the pocket so you have to shoot. Need more guns? 3D printer at home? Print out a ghost gun, source unknown. Too many guns, too many guns. All U.S. has too many guns. Guns in the living room, guns in the car, guns on the brain, wherever you are. And jars the rigidly jaded. Trumpeter Plus, our fancy gold line, comes with a full array of textural effects and is instantly expandable to fit any post-punk occasion. Disgust the socks off your friends and be the puke king of the party. Buy Trumpeter or Trumpeter Plus with living multiple accessories. Okay, here's a little love poem, and I ain't going much longer. For Lenore. When you are gone, long time seems longer. How did we meet? Artists. We were not bankers, or we would never have met. I thought your art was fantastic, groundbreaking, and you were intrigued by my different approach and more. However, and no matter what happened, we stayed together. And here we are, or would be, if you weren't out walking. And I worry when I'm not with you. Here's a very short, very frightening poem. It's scary to me. But it has to do with billionaires who think that there aren't enough, want to produce a huge number of children, and want to perpetuate their billionairehood, etc., and go to extremes. Why she keeps her distance from an oligarch. He makes so much money, he doesn't have to pee. All body emissions are magically laser spewed from the body in microscopic perfume darts as his sperm cells molecularly deposit themselves in any fertile female's fallopian tubes within 20-foot distance from the billionaire. Okay, I'm about pooped out here. Now here's a golden opportunity for everybody here. You want to make some money? Here you go. The super rich everywhere are trying to be poor. They've been so despised. They're craving humility. They're clamoring. They're trying everything in the books to be poor. But they just don't know how to do it. Now, what you could do is instruct them. You could probably make quite a bit of money doing that. And doing that would help the poor super rich to be poor again. Thank you all. I love this place. I love what you're doing. Thanks for the music.